A very good morning to my dear students. Welcome to our CS class. In the previous class, we have discussed some text file opening methods. How can we open a file? That means open function. And what are the modes we want to open? That means R, W, A, etc. Then we discuss read method. Read method is used to read the entire file. It is performed by using this type. That means first we have to open the file, f equal to open of file name comma r. Then we have to use f dot read line. Not read line, read f dot read. If we specified 5, then first 5 characters are read. If we didn't specify any limit, then what happened? All the contents of a file can be read. Next is read line method. Read line method. What is read line? As the name implies, the function read will work line by line mode. That means read line will return a line read as a string from the file. So as a string we can read each line. First call to function will return first line. First we call, suppose I am reading as f dot read line, then first line of the document is returned. Then again I am writing f dot read line. What happened? Next line. Again I will write f dot read line. What happened? Third line, and so on. So it is better to use loops here. From starting to end of the file we can use for loop or while loop. Then we can use x dot read line just one time. It will repeat up to the condition fails. So if you are using f dot read line just one time, first line only can read. So it will be in the form of string. So we can understand easily, because like if suppose this is the file itself, what happened? This read line will read first line. That means read line will return a line up to 2. It will read. The syntax is file object dot read line. Read line is the function. As the name implies, read line read each line. The open function returns a file object which has a readline method for reading the content of the file. Will return only one line from file. That means first line. If you want to print 3 lines, what happens? 3 times we have to write. Otherwise, we can use a loop. So this is the example f equal to open of demo file.txt comma r. R means we are using read function. So the mode will be r. Demo file.txt is the name of the file which we want to read. Then print f.readline will print the contents of file. Only the difference between read method is read method. Here we will use read. In read line we will use read line. So it will in read method we can get the entire file, but in read line we can get the first line of the file. Then what is read lines method? Next is read lines method. As the name implies, it will return a list of strings, each separated by slash n. Slash n means new lines. So by using read lines, we can read the entire content of the file like our read function. So you need to be careful while using it, because size of memory required before using the function. So compared to read line uses more memory. So syntax is file object dot read lines. It will returns a list. List means each line separated by slash l. Each line is printed. So f dot the function is, first we have to open the file equal to open demo file.txt comma r. R is the mode. Then print f dot read lines will print the entire contents of the file. The read lines method will return a list of strings each separated by slash n of the file demo file.txt. So three functions for read, they are read, read line and read lines. This read method is used to read entire contents of a file, or we can specify the characters. If we specified 5 characters will be printed. Read line method will read line by line. That means if you are using read line only one time, then first line is read. Otherwise, if you want two lines, then f dot read f dot read line. Again, we have to use f dot read line. Otherwise, we can use loop. Next is read lines method. Read lines method will read the entire file. So f dot read lines is the function. Next is file writing methods. In like our read or read line, in file writing we will use the write method. So what is the difference between file reading and writing? Reading means the already existing file is read and its contents will be read to the program. So the program can read the contents of another file by using read function. What happens if we are using write function? Then by using our program, we can edit the contents of a file. We can write to the file. A new file is created. We can create a new file. Then if there is a file with the name, then we can add contents to the file. So we are using write function by using our Python program. Either we can create a file or we can add the contents to the file. By using read function, already that file will be in the hard disk. That file can be read. But by using writing function, what happens? Write function, a new file is created in the hard disk. That is one method. Otherwise, if the file with the same name exists, then its contents can be modified or contents can be added. So there are two methods. So this is the figure. By using our Python program, we are giving data to the text file which resides in the hard disk. But in the case of reading, what happened? This is our Python program. A file inside hard disk. This file can be accessed by the Python function. Just opposite happened in write function. That means a Python program can give value to the file. So there are two functions. They are write method and write lines method. In read mode we are using R. For write method we will use either we can use append. Append means if there is already a file is there, then we can append the contents to the file. If suppose there are contents inside the file, value is appended at the end of the file. Or we can use the write function. Write function means if there is no file, a file is created. Otherwise, it will overwrite the existing content. That is the difference. The append and write function works in the similar manner. That means append function can, if there is file exists with the given name, then data is appended at the end of the file by using append mode. That means A mode. W mode is also same. That means in W mode, if there is no file with the specified name, a file is created. Otherwise, it will overwrite the contents of the file. That means old contents will be lost. In the case of write mode. In append mode, the old contents will be there. Data is appended at the end of the file. So that is the difference. One for overwriting, other for appending. If the file exists, append will append, write will overwrite. If the file didn't exist, what happened? Both will create a new file. So first we have to study write method. Write method takes a string. So write and write lines method, these two methods will work with append and write. So write method takes a string as parameter and write it in the file. That means our program will supply the data by using some input method. That data is typed inside the file by using our program. For storing the data with the end of line character, you will have to add /n character to end of the string. That means end of line. /n means for new line. If we want to print line by line document, then we have to specify /n in the string. Let's look at an example. First, we have to open a file. How can we open a file? File object equal to open. Inside bracket we will give the name of the file that we want to open, comma mode. In mode we can specify either A or W. Then we have to write the contents. The content is now the file has more content. If that is the content, the writing is possible by file object dot write. Then this content is written to the file. That means in our hard disk a demo file 2.txt is there, or it will be created, and this content, now the file has more content, is added to the demo file 2.txt file. Then we have to close the file. Then if we open the file, then if you want to see the file, then we can, this is f.close. Close means we close the file. After appending we close the file, and in the program itself we can read the file. We can check whether the file created or not. For this we have to open the file in read mode. Then we can read the file like printf.read. Then what happened? This content will be printed in our command prompt. Now the file has more content. Now the file has more content is printed. It is appended. Some data will be in the demo file 2.txt. Already some data existed in demo file 2.txt. This content, now the file has more content, is appended with the demo file 2.txt. So all the content is printed by using open function. After open function also it is better to close the file. So write method takes a string as parameter. We can give string in this mode, or we can give input function also. So a string is passed. If you want to print more data, if you want to give more data, then /n can be used. Then by using write function, an existing file data is appended with a new data that we are giving in the file. That means now the file has more content. This statement will be appended. And then f.close. Close means the file is closed. If we want to open the file in the program itself, then we can open, then we can print, then this command prompt will appear like this. So this is append function. Append function means at the end of the file our data will be appended. That means this statement is appended with the end of the file up to this second statement inside the file. Then this third statement is appended. So the write method takes a string, and so this is append. In this we are using append mode. We can use write mode also. The difference is that write mode will overwrite the contents of the file. So the file is opened in W mode. It deletes contents of file and writes fresh every time. So in append function, we can append or add contents at the end of the file, but by using W or W mode, already the contents are cleared and new contents are added. For example, if f equal is the file name, then we can open the file by using open file name followed by W mode, because we are using write mode. Then f dot write of these contents are added. So if there are already demo file 2.txt will be there, the contents are replaced with new content. So if you are printing the file, what happened? Only this statement is printed, because all other data will be lost, because overwriting takes place in W mode. If we want to, after writing, we want to close the file. If we want to read the contents, then we can open the file and we can use f.read method. Then if we print the function, the data is printed. So this is write mode. In this class we specified write method and write line method. For writing, write method, we can opt two modes. They are append and write. Append will add the contents at the end of the file, but write will overwrite the existing file. So let's wind up this class for now. Let's continue our class in next week. Thank you and have a nice day.